We kind of bifurcating this into two systems. Whenever we need to talk about a particular event, understand a particular event, we need to see the promise in the chart. The promise in the chart is shown from the bhava, that particular bhava. Will I have a child? Fifth house. Will I have and its associates? Be it the, we'll see, and associates and associated houses. Then will I have a new house? Fourth house and its associates. Again, job, whatever that it is, it will all pertain to a certain or oblique certain bhavas, certain bhava oblique bhavas. So it's important for us to understand those things first. But these are all basics. Most of us here know it. In fact, all of us here know it. What's important for us to know is how do we then move on? So we first ascertain which is the bhava and what are the karakas, which are the bhava lords that are involved. Once we have come to that, once we see a promise, then we need to now find out as to when this thing is going to happen. So the second part is the dasha system. When is something going to fructify? All of us will have a marriage, most of us will have a marriage promise in the chart. But we are not married the moment we are born. There's certain age when we come to and marriage takes place. Child does not happen for most people nowadays till 30. When I was young, 20 to 25 was the given age for a female to bear a child. So when is it the right age for the person to, for the event to fructify in a chart? So then the second part that we talk about is the dasha system. So we have two parts through which we are going to understand this entire chart. And that one part is, I repeat, understanding the bhava. The second part is the dasha system. So when we are going, we'll start with the promise first. We can't jump into predicting the dasha until and unless we've seen the promise. Anybody can give me a chart, please. Please, I would start with taking a chart itself.
What are we looking for in the chart?
Anything, any house. You can take up somebody's, will somebody have a child? What is the career position of a person? You can take up the marriage issue. You can take up sadhana, anything that you want to talk about. I'm free, I'm all right with it. A new house, anything.
Okay, can I give?
Yeah, sure.
10th July.
Okay. So what is it that you want to look into in this chart, Soumya? Because when the person comes, the person will be telling you that I have this problem. So what is the problem that we are looking into?
Career is what they were discussing mainly.
Okay. So career is what they were discussing. Career can be seen from the 6th house, 7th house, or 10th house. 6th house is when the person is looking for a job. 10th house is when a person is wanting to start his own thing. And the 10th house is an complying house because it's the karma house. Another thing I like to add here for all of you is I'll also take nakshatras, but I'll wait. I'll wait for towards the end. Every class I'll take, but I'll take it towards the end so that those who have done nakshatra with me, they can also understand how to use the nakshatra. Okay, so we have 6, 7, and 10th houses. So the 7th house, as I told you, is about your business. And the 10th house is important for your profession. That is the 6th house and the 7th house for your business also, because it relates to your total accumulation of karma. So it's a part of your karma, whether you are in a profession, whether you're doing a job or you're doing your own business. Okay. Now,
sorry,
yes.
he is not into I mean, he's an actor. So
he's an actor.
Yeah.
So then we'll have to take the 5 and 10. Okay, we'll take the 5 and 10 because the 5th house is the house for actors. actors. Okay, okay. So you've given me a good place to begin. I already have something. So let's see Bhav Chintan first. There are a lot of things that I'll be taking here, but first thing that I'm going to take here is the first main thing is the house. Okay. Uh, so what do you need to check? The main features of a bhava is the house that you need to check. You want to analyze. Okay. Lord of that house. It's very important to understand the Lord of that house also, because the house tells us what it is capable of. See, the fifth house will tell you about the acting skills of the person. But who will help him to act? The fifth house Lord will give him the ability to act. Okay, and then Karaka. Karaka, Venus is the Karaka of acting. Mercury and Venus, because if Venus is the Karaka of accomplishments. So if, and what else house I said 10. If there has to be a professional, if he's doing it for fun, then it's a different thing. Then we are not seeing profession, we're just seeing acting. But the 10th house should also be involved. Okay, so now let us consider just these 3 points carefully. Okay, and so thank you so much, Soumya. You brought about a good thing. See, I've already made a video on career in acting. Okay, long back. So see, what are the important planets? We have quite a lot of important planets here. See, all of you, please make note of this. It's important so that we understand. Sun, Venus. Sun gives us that if he is looking for, what is he looking for? If I'm working in any industry, I want that name and fame. That name and fame will come from Sun, especially for actors. They say for Shah Rukh Khan, his sun is debilitated, but it is also well placed. Okay, it's placed in the Lagna, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a Mercury. Mercury gives you speech. If you see somebody's Mercury is debilitated or badly afflicted, if he cannot speak properly, he's not going to do mook acting. He's not going to do, you know, we are not in the time zone of silent movies. So he has to improvise on his speech. So this is the Mercury that is important. Then this is the time of Rahu. And Rahu is said to be one of the very important planets when you are talking about acting career. Finally, Mars will give you the energy and passion, but not as much as Mars as is the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Rahu. Okay. The houses involved are the third house of speech, the third house of acting, the fifth house of prominence, and again, fifth house is fifth from fifth, so that will also come in. And then the 10th house, the profession has to connect. If you want a profession, then this has to connect. Is that understood? Have we got our point straight? So we've got the Karak. Who's the Karak? Is Venus. We've got many other Karaks, but Venus and Mercury we hold very tightly, and even Rahu, because without the Rahu element, without the showcasing element, remember one thing, Desh Kal Patra matters. So without the showcasing element of the Desh Kal Patra, that is Rahu is the one, you will find there's so many people who are so well known and then they get onto the, nowadays there's a trend going on that social influencers who are content makers, even they get a chance to come in the movies. Why? Because they are popular, they have their own following, so the movies will be followed. So the fifth house there becomes important, and Rahu media there comes important. Okay, 10th house, 12th house for going abroad, but then 3, 5, 10 are important, very important. Important signs, Gemini and Leo. Nakshatras we'll check later, because as I told you, I'll take you on to the journey of nakshatras at a later time. Now let's move into this analysis here. What is it that we are seeing? Fifth house. Fifth house Lord is retrograde. I got a good cold yesterday, so I'm sorry if I'll keep sneezing. I'm asking your apologies way in advance. So See, Saturn here is exalted and retrograde. So he's lost a little bit of his strength, quite a lot of his strength. So this guy is trying his level hard best and he's struggling, right?
Yes, but why do we say it's lost strength?
That's across classics you will find that when a retrograde planet is exalted, it is said to have lost its strength. Okay. So the fifth lord is with the Lagna and it also aspects the 10th house. And that's very beautiful. See, it aspects the 10th house and the Karaka of the 10th house is sitting in the 10th house itself. That is Venus and Mercury. It's not that this boy is not good. The boy is well accomplished because you will see there is a relationship between the 5th and the 10th. And the 3rd also. The 3, 5, 10 are connected. Why so? Because the 5th lord is aspecting the 3rd house also. So the 3, 5, 10 are connected and the Karaka of the doer of the house, that is the 5th lord, and the Karaka of acting, that is Venus and Mercury, are also connected. So far, so good, everybody.
But ma'am, did the native have a very up and down career, very volatile career?
He at the moment he's struggling. I feel he's still struggling because of one factor, that the factor that is connecting everything, Saturn in itself, is weak.
10th lord is with Ketu, right? That's why you're saying volatile.
Yeah, and that also you can say the 10th lord is also with Ketu on the Rahu-Ketu axis. Whenever there is a Rahu presence with the house lord, it will increase the potency of the house. And there is Ketu tends to absorb that energy. So
yeah, but how about the 6th and the 8th lords sitting
we are
in the
not
house
doing
of
the
profession?
Yeah, so that's
Those
also
are
the
challenges.
Lagna lord. That's also the Lagna lord. There's no 6th lord. There is also the Lagna lord, Nazim, which
Sorry,
is
the eighth lord.
but that's also the Lagna lord and it's the Karaka. So in that profession, you will have ups and downs. That's all right. In that profession,
That's
you
what
will
he's
have
saying.
ups. And there will
8th
be,
lord in 10th.
yeah, and there will be no timing. There will be no discipline of time. So it meets that.
But when he earns, he'll earn big.
He'll
When
earn
the
big.
cycle is in his favor.
Yes, yes. And for that, then we'll move on to the dasha.
So he's actually previously done good. He's done movies. He's done, a lot of OTT and all of that. But lately, in the last 2, 3 years, he's not done too much, and he's been, I think, struggling.
Yes. So then again, that will come from the dasha. That will come from the dasha. See, Rahu was supposed to, in the last 1 whole year, 1.5 years, has been real damper for him. Because Rahu is supposed to give him, it's the Karaka. Again, it's the Karaka, it's one of the Karakas. Is the social media or your virtual media or your acting is something, it's all illusion. It's not real. And Rahu is an illusionist. So Rahu is in the 8th house. It's not giving him that exposure, so to speak. Understand, the Karaka here is in a dark house, so it's not getting that exposure. So post Rahu period, he will have started, or he'll start now. He'll start picking up slowly and steadily. So from March end, he should be getting back on his feet.
Ma'am, how about starting a business about the secrets of actors? Because that Rahu in the 8th house, he's going to know a lot of dark secrets.
Yes, there is, yes, that you're correct there. He would have known a lot of dark secrets, but then we have a saying in Hindi which is like chor chor mausere bhai. So They
Yeah.
are not going to, you don't snitch on me and I don't snitch on you
True,
either.
true.
Maybe he also has a lot of dark secrets.
Exactly, he does. That's Rahu in the 8th house is also saying the same thing.
But
Anuradha ji,
Mahadasha as such is good, right? 11th Lord in 9th, right? So Mahadasha is not bad. Sun's
Mahadasha is
Mahadasha.
not bad, but Kapil, you should remember that Sun will not have given him
Not
anything.
good. Yeah. Then
And
Moon.
Moon is with Ketu.
Yeah. What about
March
Mars?
period he could have got certain inroads, but when Rahu came the 8th house, Rahu is one of the worst placements possible.
So what he told me is that before this, I think before this, when he had Rahu Antardasha in Venus, which was, I think, at that time he said that I got a really great thing in films and like I got a jump. So that's why in this Antardasha, I mean, he's also a little into astrology, so he knew. So he said, so that's why in this Antardasha, I was expecting that it will, again, when Rahu comes, I will get,
But
it'll
then
change.
you're correct. So, but then what happens is there is something which I have made a video on this, and it is stated in Uttar Kalamrita and also in Faldipika very clearly that why do the planets not give a similar result in the Antardasha period? Why? I mean,
Well, it's connected here, right? Rahu will deliver the results of Saturn, and it's sitting in the house of Venus. So that's different than.
yes. So Venus, Rahu is sitting in the house of Venus. So in that Antardasha, it's bound to give results of Venus.
Yeah.
Has he
So
tried
the
any?
Lagna not in the 10th placement. As opposed to in the Sun Dasha, it's in the 12th from it. This is a wasting time period.
Okay.
Anuradha ji, for Leo ascendant, Sun is Badhaka also. So I don't think this.
This is not a Leo ascendant.
Libra.
Sorry, for this
Libra is,
Libra, the Sun is also a Badhaka planet, no?
no, Badhaka planet, we will not use it here for that, Sangeeta ji. Badhaka will give obstacles in health issues. It's the 11th Lord also. So it should technically give you your Ichha Purti.
Okay.
So it
But
should
health could go down, right? Because 3 Shaddai Lord, the most malefic. Sun is the most malefic. Correct?
Right. So it will take toll only during the periods. It will not take toll. See, I'll give you a very rude example. The IT department cannot come to anybody's house before sunrise and after sunset. So taking the similar kind of, I do not know whether my analogy is correct or not, but similarly, no dasha, antardasha, pratyantardasha lord can give its results before its designated time. We all have a time period within which they are allowed to work. Otherwise, there are so many yogas. Everything will be like it will be like a mushroom growing on the chart. You have to wait for your turn. So if it has to give health issues, it will give only during its tenure. It cannot give outside of its tenure.
Ma'am, how about the native seeking foreign roles?
How about the native? That's a possibility.
Seeking foreign roles, he will earn well.
That's a possibility. Because if I am going to make Sun as the Lagna here, again, another technique that you can do, that you can see the Sun as the Lagna and Rahu is in the 12th from it. And the 12th house also gives you name and fame. Then it's a possibility that the person can get roles and seeks roles and gets name and fame outside of his country. A place of
I think he is using the 12th Lord in 10th principle because Mercury is sitting in 10th, right? 12th Lord.
So
Yes,
whatever
Kapil.
whatever that it is, I am telling you from where I am coming across. So Sun Dasha going on, Sun Rahu is in the 12th from it, so it will give you that.
So ma'am, anything that is foreign and not normal in India, he will do well. The 8th Lord the 12th Lord sitting in the house of profession, he should
Yeah.
stay away from what is usual.
But he should stay away from the common.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So now let us. So what did we find here? We found here two things. First, one most, again, anybody else has a chart where we can work on this, we can see another principle working for a house.
हाँ, yes, career का ही है
हाँ,
राधा जी.
yes.
It is 24th July.
Okay, just so I'll just summarize this chart for everybody. So we found out the Vimshotri Dasha that the person is now first and foremost. When you're talking about acting as a career, you're seeing the 5th house, 10th house, 3rd house, and the 12th house if there is, if the person is also working in, foreign rules. And if the person is really doing good, then 12th house should be important, should be involved, because that will get him the international name and fame. We connected the dots. We saw that Mars, Saturn, the 5th lord, connects with the 3rd house, 3rd lord. The 10th house also. Yes, the 10th house also. And we saw that Venus and Mercury, the main karakas, are also placed in the 10th house. The person is accomplished, but he has a very slow rise because of Saturn being the planet, and though it is there, it's exalted, but it's retrograde. A retrograde exalted planet is considered weak in strength. So he's not got the heights that he could or should have got. One thing. Second is that during the dasha, as per told by Soumya, that during the Venus Rahu dasha, he had got a jump. But so he was expecting the same to happen in the Sun Rahu, but it did not happen, because it is according to the principle, Rahu will act like Venus because it is placed in Venus's house. So it was kind of Rahu giving the results of Venus placed in the 10th house, giving name and recognition and fame. And Venus is in Punarvasu. So he must have tried for a role once more, and then, so here I'll get in the Nakshatras. Venus is in Punarvasu and Mercury is in Pusha. Some known person may have pushed him. Some known person could have given him the leg up then. Okay, because I'm just telling you, because it is, you see, Venus is in Pusha. So there must be a teacher who would have helped him out there. Okay.
Is the native married?
Yes.
His wife had something to do with his career.
She's also in the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome, Nazim. Awesome. So, and now, so she could have got him the role also. She could have helped him find the role. Not got him the role, helped him find the role. But
How did you predict that? How did Nazim predict that one?